Hi, I'm here in Portumna Walled Kitchen Garden. It's part of the Portumna Castle grounds. It's a 17th century restored kitchen garden, and it's an absolutely beautiful garden to visit if you wanted any inspiration or just wanted a really nice walk or afternoon out. It's got loads of lovely features to it. I'll show you some of those today. It's got a wonderful kitchen garden, of course, vegetables, etc., and also a kitchen herb garden, which I'm going to show you today as well. Just in a very small little space of the garden is all that takes up. But I also just wanted to show you some of the medicinal plants and herbal plants that are here, that we could that are wonderful to use for maybe oils or infusions and things like this. So I just wanted to go through and show some of those to you as well today. So I'm here with a beautiful bed of colourful nasturtiums and borage. And these are both wonderful to use in salads. So the nasturtiums, I wonder if people are familiar with them. They are they have a peppery taste, and you can use these beautiful blooms direct in salads, and they're absolutely gorgeous. And nasturtiums will self-seed totally easily, and you may not be able to see, but there's some bees buzzing around here today, so the pollinators just love them. And here is borage. Borage is another beautiful kitchen herb plant, garden herb plant, that self-seeds so easily and grows in your garden so easily. So this is a wonderful one to introduce. You'll probably be able to see there's quite an amount of bees buzzing around at the moment, so this is one that the pollinators absolutely adore, and it's very long lived. It flowers for a very long time and self seeds very easily. And these little flowers here are so beautiful, and they can be picked and put directly into salads. So just you can sprinkle a few of those on top of your salads, maybe with the nasturtium flowers, just for a beautiful decoration. And the seeds themselves in the borage is it has essential fatty acids in it. It has GLA in it. Some of you might be familiar with that. Evening primrose also has this, and it's an essential fatty acid, so is anti-inflammatory, and can help to regulate the hormones a little bit. But really, what I'm suggesting here is that you just plant it in your garden for the pollinators, for the beauty of it, for the ease of it, and then these little flowers going in to your salads as well. The leaves can be eaten, they can be cooked like spinach. I've never done it myself, but they can be cooked like spinach if you wish, and you can also make a tea out of it, dry it and make a tea out of it, which is really lovely actually. I do use it as tea. So I'll just put the disclaimer in here. Obviously, if anybody is on blood thinners or any other pharmaceutical medications, you need to check with your GP before taking anything internally. So most of what I'm going to be showing you here on this walk is going to be used externally, for herbal oils and things like that. So here we are with some thyme, beautiful thyme bush, little bit late in the season, little bit dried out, and most of the flowers are gone. But this again is an absolutely beautiful one for pollinators. These would be full, the flowers would be full of pollinators in your garden. The fragrance from it is just amazing. And obviously we all know it for using in cooking, presumably. But you can also make a tea from it. You can also make a gargle as a sore throat. And it's a warming herb that can help with circulation a little bit. It's also antiviral, antifungal, anti-carminative, which helps to get rid of wind, and antibacterial as well. So thyme is it's a wonderful plant again to have in your garden, and I'm going to just show you a few of them here in this row, so that are all quite similar in their properties. And the next one is rosemary. Now this is an absolutely magnificent rosemary bush. And again, the fragrance of that is just so gorgeous, very stimulating. The fragrance of rosemary is actually meant to be very good for memory and for cognitive function. It's said that for students, if you have a little rosemary plant placed on their table and they get used to the fragrance of rosemary as they're studying, they perform better in exams afterwards. It's one that's it's a herb that is associated with enhanced mental function and memory function. Again, pollinators will love this, the flowers on it. The fragrance is just absolutely amazing. And you could easily make a tea from thyme, rosemary or sage to gargle if you have any upper respiratory conditions, any like sore throat or anything like that. That would be a wonderful thing to try. You can also drink that tea, of course, but as a gargle as well. It's just absolutely wonderful. Also possibly helpful for any skin irritations, as they're all antifungal, antibacterial. So if you have anything like athlete's foot, it might be worth trying to make a very strong tea out of those, and using that, either soaking your feet in it or putting it on cotton and leaving that on your skin for 20 minutes a good few times a day, and just see if that would help at all. And now the sage. Oh, there's a lovely butterfly. So we've just disturbed a butterfly on this bush. So this is again an absolutely magnificent sage bush. There's just a few flowers that are left on it, and you'll be able to see the little seeds in there hopefully also. And so sage is again an absolutely wonderful plant to have in your garden, and for pollinators and for humans alike. So as I said, making a tea from this, obviously we know it for cooking and for gravies and things like this. The fragrance is magnificent, and making a tea from this to gargle for a sore throat would be super helpful. So here's our lovely friend Calendula. So this is also known as pot marigold, but this is from the genus Calendula rather than the genus Tagetes, so not to be confused with the African marigold. I will put photos up on the screen of both, just so you can see the difference, and see the African marigold also to compare. So this one is the one that we're going to be using for a herbal oil, and this calendula is absolutely a wonderful plant for your garden, again for pollinators and also for humans. It is antiviral, antifungal, anti-inflammatory, it's skin healing, and it's antibacterial as well. So this is a really wonderful one to have in your garden. You can use the flowers and the leaves to make a tea out of, either fresh or dried. But really what I use it for mostly is for external skin balms and oils, because it's so skin healing and really good on minor wounds as well. And this one is gentle enough to be used with babies and with young children, and also with people with very sensitive skin. So this is a really wonderful plant to have in our garden. As I say, both for pollinators and for humans. And it self-seeds beautifully in your garden very, very easily. And here is some magnificent lavender. Again, a little bit late in the season, but there's still some colour on it and some bees buzzing around this plant here. So again, a magnificent plant for your garden, both for pollinators and for humans. So lavender, I'm sure many of you are familiar with lavender essential oil and the fragrance of lavender. The fragrance is utterly magnificent, and it's a gentle sedative actually, and it helps us to relax and to sleep better. So many people will use lavender essential oil at the end of the evening to try to help them sleep, and lavender pillows would be an old-fashioned thing as well. I remember my granny having one next to her pillow in her bed. So we're also going to make a herbal oil from this. Lavender is also skin healing, and quite a potent skin healer as well actually. The lavender essential oil, so not the massage oil that we will be making, but the essential oil is wonderful to put onto burns. If you put it on immediately after getting the burn underneath the cold water and then putting lavender essential oil on, that actually works wonderfully, I've found throughout the years, for little minor burns. So we're going to be using lavender, as I said, to make a herbal oil or a massage oil, or a balm you can make from it as well. People do add it into teas, and it's also a lovely one to make a tea out of and use as a face rinse as well. It is lovely to do that. That's lavender, and there you can see some bees buzzing around on it, hopefully. And then over on this side, they're all cut back now, excuse me, but this is feverfew. So these come out into gorgeous white and yellow flowers, and I'll show you a picture of those on the screen, because again, pollinators love this plant, and it flowers all summer long. So these ones are cut back down at this stage, but feverfew would have been used traditionally for migraines. There's an anti-inflammatory aspect to it, and it would have been used traditionally for migraines through the years. It's a bitter taste, so you wouldn't really make a tea from it, though you can, but it is really quite bitter. And so the traditional way to take this is to put feverfew, pick some leaves and put that into a sandwich in between 2 slices of bread and have that every day, and that's meant to keep migraines at bay. So this is meadowsweet, one of my absolute favourite plants. It's known as Queen of the Meadow or Lady of the Meadow, and so this would not normally be found growing so much in a kitchen garden. Normally grows in very damp, boggy soil. I find it in the growing in abundance in the boggy fields near where I live in County Clare. So this is an absolutely gorgeous plant. I hope people are familiar with it or become familiar with it. The fragrance again is absolutely magnificent. It was used to flavour mead back in the old days because it's got this like sweet honey-like fragrance to it. So the flowers of meadowsweet is where we first discovered salicylic acid, which is where we get aspirin from. So traditionally meadowsweet would have been used as a pain relieving and also fever relieving traditional medicine. So it's also good for those damp conditions like arthritis and rheumatoid arthritis as well. So we can make a tea out of it. We can pick the flowers and the leaves and make a tea out of it. We can also make a balm out of it. So again, a herbal oil, and we make a skin balm out of it. And I know somebody locally that makes that herself, and she finds it's very good, very helpful for her arthritis. And a tea of meadowsweet has also been used traditionally to help break fevers in children, to sweat it out. As it's a diaphoretic, it brings the blood to the surface and increases heat under the surface of the skin. So again, the flowers, the stems, the leaves can all be used to make a tea out of like that. So this is one for internal and external use. Absolutely magnificent for pollinators as well, and wonderful if you've got a boggy patch in your garden or any piece of wet land, or even just around a pond in your garden or something like that, and you'll see it full, absolutely full of insect life during the summer months. This is the beginning of the kitchen herb garden section, and this is just a small little section in this Portumna walled kitchen gardens. So I just want to show you some of the plants that are here and just show you the small amount of space that this actually takes up. So this is a lavender, again well pruned back. We have some gorgeous lady's mantle here which spreads so easily. Again, that does have herbal uses, but just is a very beautiful plant when we see it like this, collecting all the water drops, and it spreads so easily, so it's wonderful for ground cover. This will have beautiful yellow flowers on it during the summertime. Again, fantastic for pollinators, they love it. This is a young calendula plant, so these ones have probably just self-seeded. You can see some of the seeds here. And these ones have probably just self-seeded into this area. This one again is the feverfew, and there's just one small little flower over here, if you're able to see that. So I will share a picture on the screen anyhow of what the flowers look like on the feverfew. Moving over here, we have our chives. Again, the bees just love these flowers in the summertime. Winter savory. Our sage and our lovage. And another gorgeous, healthy rosemary plant here. With peppermint in the front. And thyme also in the front. And the signage here in this garden is also very good and informative, which is a great idea for the visitors and sharing information that way. So that was a very quick walk through Portumna Walled Kitchen Garden, and there's many more plants I could show you here, but I know that we're short on time with these webinars, so that will be it for today. Hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you gained some helpful information.